as two players advance out of this group, it is a tight race to see who makes it into those quarter-final playoffs. Last time we did one of these events, we had top 3 advancing, which I do like a little bit better, but time constraints really do limit us to only having one single playoff day, so we're just going to have 2 players out of each group instead this time around. Alright guys, with that said, I'm just going to do a quick sub shout because it just came in before we introduce our players. SYF Crimson, how you doing, mate? Thank you so much for the 5-month resub. I will actually just say very quickly here as well that we do have replay packs going out, guys. I'm going to try and do the first replay pack probably tonight or tomorrow. I know I've been promising for a couple of days, but it may make sense to do it tomorrow after we've done Group B of the group. We might, of the Invitational, we might do it today, but either way, if you're a subscriber, in the next couple of days you're going to get 100 plus replays. It is a replay pack featuring all of today's games and everything else we've casted over the last week or so, so definitely something to get your hands on if you're interested, as we are ready to jump on into Namshar versus PtitDrogo. Let's do this, guys. To the top left hand side of the red Zerg player, this is Namshar. We're just about to get ourselves across the map into the blue Protoss player's side of the map, which is, from my insanity, PtitDrogo. Fate goes down asking where can you see Ephemeral versus Denver. So, Ephemeral and Denver have just started up. We will be bringing you guys updates through our second screen setup, so we can give you guys some updates on the games like this. But as you can see right now, they really are just in the very early stages of the TvZ, 3 minutes in. So they're just started up, and we will, again, give you guys updates on how that goes. We'll be casting that game from replays later on, but for now, we are focusing up on this Protoss versus Zerg. Grant in the chat saying, how was your long weekend? It was pretty good. I mean, a long weekend for me isn't really a long weekend, right? Because I still cast it every day, I think. I cast a lot of StarCraft. What was... Did we cast on Saturday? I feel like I did cast on Saturday. I definitely cast on Friday. Yeah, we casted Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Monday. Right? Yeah, we casted every day this week. No, I didn't cast on Saturday because I had some issues. Yeah, actually, I guess my weekend was a bit stressful. Sorry, I'm going through my entire thought process here out loud. Saturday was a bit stressful. I had some tech issues and I had to cancel the stream, but otherwise, it was pretty good. I took yesterday off, actually, and went out with a friend last night and stuff like that, so... it was nice just to have a day off and actually not do anything work-related apart from organising a couple of groups. I don't take an entire day off very often at all. Usually, even if I don't stream, I spend the day, you know, working on other bits and pieces, admin work, stuff like that. So, it was nice to have a day off yesterday. It was good. Made me, it's just good to chill out a little bit, you know. Thanks for asking. Hope your long weekend was good as well, of course. As we do, continue to set up and see. Continuing what is going to be happening here. A few minutes in, maybe time to really start talking about the game, because the third hatch is up, and the first 2 adepts are arriving, which is already a threat to maybe get some damage done. Lings here will be able to chase this away, though, but already 2 adepts have forced out a good amount of Zerglings, and, you know, as you continue to kind of get a good amount of Zerglings out on the map, then you're kind of at that position where you can now drone up safely, but it's given the Protoss player the economic edge for just a little while. Oracle is about to be finishing up, and the Twilight Council coming down with a natural expansion as well. Who won? Namshar Ephemeral. Ephemeral was able to win that one 2-1, and was able to take his 3rd victory of the day already. And just answer another question in the chat, Jay Shinrei. How are the replay packs sent out? We send out replay packs via sub-message, which is now sub-email, and we also post them into our subscriber Discord server, so you can get them in a couple of different ways, whichever you prefer, whichever is easiest for you. As, ooh, those adepts get a little bit caught here. This adept's going to come forwards and will be able to just not quite save that one adept that was very low. Cleans out a few Zerglings forward at least, which is something, as the rest of those Zerglings going to be backing away. Lairs on the way from Namshar. Stasis Ward actually catches the Queen and a couple of drones, minimizing the damage at least. I mean, a Queen getting caught isn't ideal, but it's better than the entirety of the drones, right? You know, if this was the entire drone line, it would be a lot more devastating for our Zerg players, so that's somewhat okay, as we are going to be seeing these Lings from Namshar coming out over to the right-hand side of the map to see what else they can get up to. And just as a quick kind of recap on that other game going on, by the way, Denver just took game 1 off of Ephemeral. I'm actually completely unsure how, because I wasn't paying attention to it at the point in time, I saw a bunch of Lings dealing damage. It looks like he just went like mass Ling Flood with like a Dropper Lord maybe? I don't even know. It was like +1 melee or something. It was really weird. I can't quite figure out what exactly it was, but it was game number 1 going the way of Denver in that best of 3 against Ufernal. So Ufernal down a game against Denver. That series continues, as we do see some more Lings and Hydras getting set up here from Namshar though, as he gets ready to fight against what's a charge upgrade coming through from Drogo. As charge finishes up, how much has he actually got here at the moment? 5 gates, a couple more gates, actually just the 5 gates, but he has a couple of Archons already in play, so I mean definitely some definitely a decent position to push on forwards as we see these Lings continue to come up towards the top side. Lings obviously want to try and get defensive. A couple of Spines will start. Queens are gathering together as well. They're going to be essential in this defense. Some added damage output, and also the ability to tank a little bit as well. Just going to be seeing a few more Zealots are warping in right now just under the Prism, and we are going to be seeing those Zealots and Archons starting to move forwards here. Queen's taking a little bit of damage already, but again, doing their job, which is to tank a little bit here. We're going to see the Hydra from the right-hand side is actually going to get taken down by the Oracle. They kill each other. Meanwhile, the main fight, well, the Spinecrawler helps out a lot, and that's going to really be a big part of this defense, and that is really nice from Namshar. Able to hold this off without really taking much damage at all. Good defense here, and this War Prism pulling back down in towards the center, and a few Zealots are going to be warping in. Storm starts on up, and again, Lingers and Hydras still just on the way out currently for Namshar, with Groove Spines on the way as well. Thank you very much, Alba, with the 28-month resub. A long one right there. How you doing? 28 reasons I love Wardy. Number 1, his accent is tops. Number 2, ... Text limit reached. Thank you, Alba, for the 28-month resub. Giving us some love in the chat for Alba. As we are still just seeing how Drogo will continue to try and get further damage done. And then counterattack here, Namshar's coming across, but these Zealots are gathering up. The Archons in the main. This is Drogo hitting in a couple of different locations to try and get something done. The Zealots use their charge on the hatchery, actually, which means the Hydras are not in as much danger as they might usually be. A couple of Adepts are going to cancel their shade, and Drogo has to, well, drop these Archons here to get some more damage done. Namshar cleaning up, but taking some damage in the process. Drogo is doing enough, I feel, to continue to keep himself in a strong little position. As we are going to see in this War Prism, just sat off over to the left-hand side, waiting to see what is next. The Observer coming down through the center of the map from Drogo as well, just revealing a lot of the creep spread and so on. And I mean, for now, it just gives them an idea of if an attack is coming across. Alright, so some good map control there. Storm now completed from Drogo too, as we do see a couple of pylons on the way up off over to the left-hand side. And we are going to be seeing gates, forge, all of this continue to come on into play as Drogo sets up in towards this mid-game. +1 melee, +1 missiles, that Baneling Nest as well. Namshar really setting up with absolutely everything here at the moment to be able to keep on defending. As we will be seeing these couple of Archons dropping down, and already a Crypt Tumor getting cleaned out. So Crypt Tumor going down as again Zealots, Immortals and High Templar coming back up through to the center of the map now. A lot of these Zerglings as well from Namshar sat off over to the left hand side, and as they're set off over to the left, they're looking for a counterattack in towards a mineral line, which honestly could get quite a lot done. If he gets in here before this cannon is finished, even get a kill on that, it could be nice. Of course, by then maybe we see a warping coming through. He's actually fighting in range of the shield battery, which isn't going to be too pretty, as you do see these units breaking their way through these rocks. And obviously, well, getting ready to attack, but has to deal with this counter. Again, shield battery out of energy now, but the cannon is up, and that's going to be a big part of helping to defend alongside the Warpins as the first storm's starting to drop on down. Namshar taking some damage from these storms, trying to split away. Drogo pushing. Energy on the High Templar is just not there for another couple of storms. So now this is Archons and Immortals, but in fairness, if there's ever a set of units I'd like to be left over with, it's probably Archons and Immortals. They're pretty good. War Prism will not go down before the Warping of Zealots, and that means that there's reinforcements here from Drogo. Namshar, 14 Hydras in production, could do with those right now, but they're just not here yet, and that's obviously going to be a little bit painful as we're going to be seeing the Hydras continue to back away. The Queens as well, trying to spread out, trying to minimize the damage being taken here. The Zealot's going down. The Archon just jumps back into the War Prism. And the Immortal chased away by these few Hydras, although, well, he actually gets the Archon kill. It's just Immortals left here. Going to use the drones to tank, which is actually a pretty big play because it allows the Hydras to get a lot more done, but Zealots coming through really helps out with this now, as we are going to be seeing these Hydras continue to take quite a bit of damage. So Hydras taking quite a bit of damage, comes forwards again. We are going to see the Prism gets taken down. These Immortals finally shut down as well. Namshar holds on. But in what sort of a situation? I mean, we're talking about a scenario here now from Drogo, which is he's ahead in workers, down a little bit in army. It's a little bit of a rough position. It's a little bit of a weird one. I'm not actually sure where we kind of get to from this spot. As you do see, these Hydras are starting to set up, and well, we look to see what will happen at the moment over the next few moments. By the way, a very interesting scenario over in the PvZ. It's an early gas pool from Denver as he sets up into fast link speed against a command center first. It's kind of funny because this actually might work out in Euphemal's favor. With the CC building earlier in the game than usual, it means he can actually lift it a lot sooner, and hence he can actually save it from those Zerglings perhaps. So that's going to be kind of cool to see if that works out for Euphemal. Going CC first against some early aggression. We'll see if he can hold on over in that TVZ which is playing. He is 1-0 down in the series as Denver looking to take a quick, cheeky win in game number 2. Well, again, some Lings and Hydras pushing up this ramp. We are going to see Zealots just getting picked off right away here. Back into the action on this ZVP right away because these Hydras are not stopping at all just yet. We're going to be seeing this cannon going down, and we are going to be having, well, obviously this base now in a little bit of trouble. Some Lings to the center position as well. Now the rest of the army comes over from Drogo to push this away, though. And it's going to be difficult. Banespeed's about to finish up, and he's not sure if he has enough units to really defend a warning storm from him right now. But he's going to need a little bit more, so we'll see if he can get that set up for himself. He needs as much as he can get to fight against this. Namshar's army is terrifying at the moment, as we are going to be seeing those Hydras pushing in from a couple of different angles, but the storm's obviously one of the big things with this that can really go a long way to helping out. That's not a storm available there, though. He has to pull away. A couple of Archons already taking some shots, and now it's going to be a bit of a surround, although the Archons on the right-hand side will deal with this. A good storm as well to help clean up some of those Lings on their way in. And he is going to be able to defend over here as well. The storm was good. The cannons and the shield barrier holding on. Drogo continues to defend very nicely for the moment. I would say this is going well so far, as we are going to be seeing these couple of Archons and Immortals still moving around and trying to pick their way through a couple of Hydras. Alright then, well, 7 meters on the way as Namshar changes things up a little bit here, switches up the kind of progress in this game, switches up the speed. It is coming down towards the lower right-hand side, and we are going to be seeing the Zealots from Drogo continue to move off over to the right as well. You want to try and set up a bit of a run by his High Templar on their own. They have to storm to protect themselves, morph into an Archon. Other Archons arrive just in time to push those Mutas towards the main. Hydras, though, about to hit the third base, but more Storms and Archons available. Mutas are starting to work their way through the mineral line, so some damage is starting to be done. As we do see 7 probes have gone down, but it's definitely a manageable number. It's not an insane amount just yet, and if the storm hits over here, these Hydras will indeed be pushed back, and Namshar and Drogo are still trading blows at the moment. At this stage, it's still Namshar in a little bit of control of the game, I think. You know, he's getting some good damage done with these Mutalisks. This Phoenix popping out is starting to do some damage here and there as well. As we are going to be seeing this cannon continue to be targeted down. It does fall, as we are going to be seeing the Stalkers turning around to fight against the Mutalisks. So obviously the Phoenix on the way out, that's going to be a big part of this in terms of cleaning up Mutas. Drogo finds himself a chance to get across the map though, and if this goes well for him, obviously initiating a base trade can go very well potentially at this sort of stage of the game. High Templars don't have the energy I think he needs though for the next storm. He's a few energy away, and he morphs into an Archon there to save himself as, well, now he's actually going to have no anti-air though. The Mutas have come back home, and Drogo's attack across the map has not quite worked out for him here. So that's obviously looking to be very painful for him. A couple of Immortals going down, these Stalkers cleaned out, but now Namshar has so many Mutalisks, and there really just isn't the anti-air required to truly clean this up. As we are going to be seeing these Mutas continue to the south side, and I mean, these Stalkers just not in high enough numbers. Drogo taps out, and Namshar will take himself game number 1 of this best of 3. 3-month resub, how you doing, mate? Thank you so much for the 3 months, really do appreciate it. Thank you, Thank you very much for that. Alright, well, let's introduce our players to the bottom left-hand side. To the bottom left, our red Zerg player is Namshar, going up against the blue Protoss in the upper right from my insanity, PtitDrogo. What's up, Ferrento, in the chat? Long time no see, mate. How's it going? It's going well. Hope you're doing good as well. Hope everything's going your way today. Good to see you in the chat. Long time no see, like I said. But good to see you around every now and then, mate. Set up into this game number 2, guys. Again, just a quick update from Euphemal and Denver. Euphemal's playing mech, and he's 30-40 supply up. So realistically, Euphemal has that one in the bag unless something horrendous happens. So we're not going to jump back into that. But just an update so you guys can roughly be aware of where we're at in that series in case you are watching out for it, in case you're interested in that result. It is looking as though it's going to be going to a game 3 over the next few minutes. So, setting up, and we'll see the probe scout early in the game just to spot the hatchery, gas and pool coming in right now from Namshar. Nothing really too surprising. As we get ourselves set up and going to just get into the interesting stages of this, gives us a couple of moments to just chill out, see what's up in the chat. Hello everyone, how's everybody doing? Hope you're having a good time. Hope you're, again, enjoying the game so far today. Thank you for coming out in the masses to come and check out the stream today. Almost 2,000 viewers for our first group of the tournament. Remember, we have Group B tomorrow, which is even maybe turning it up a level once again. DNS, Bly, Cass, Nurture, and Alive going to be a very fun group. That's tomorrow from 3 PM CEST, a couple hours later start, so we avoid the GSL Super Tournament. And then we have Group C and D next week, Wednesday and Thursday, with the playoffs on Friday. So look forward to all of that. Hit that follow button on the Twitch channel to see when we go live in the future with all of those games. Best way to keep track of when we do go live. But yeah, thanks for tuning in today. Lots of people here in the chat, lots of people out in the viewership. It's looking good. Here for the WardiTV Invitational number 3, powered again by Sneak Energy. If someone would throw that exclamation mark sneak into the chat, give people a link to check them out. Does mean a lot, and it does go a long way. They're very happy so far, I think, with the way that this is going. They're very impressed with the viewership and all the rest of it, so thumbs up to you guys. You're killing it out there as viewers, which is good. Usually our sponsorships fall through, I'm not going to lie, but this one's going pretty well, so that's awesome. Anyways, we are setting up, and we are going to be seeing a third hatchery from Namshar starting up on the left-hand side. And obviously this first adept is just scouting that out. Second adept coming over, and we'll look to see if they can do any damage here once again. And yeah, we'll see if these adepts can get some damage done. Obviously, again, it's going to be the Protoss player taking a bit of a worker lead in the early stages. As we set ourselves up into this, just waiting to see these adepts actually getting forwards and getting some damage done here. So there goes that shade in. Going to be seeing the Oracle. We'll be finishing up in a moment or two. And as the Oracle finishes, it is going to be the Stargate play here from Drogo to set us up into game number 2. Yeah, but Stargate last time, I think you went straight into Twilight. I kind of feel. I just don't feel like we saw an Oracle at all, but maybe I'm just being a little bit forgetful. Either way, there is the Oracle coming across, and so far Namshar not much of a defense. First spawn the way up in the main. The Queen is here as well. The other 2 Queens are actually towards the 3rd base, which I guess is where the Oracle's going to show up first of all, so it's actually a good positioning here from Namshar in the end. That natural, despite not having anything on it just yet, is well protected, and it is going to be safe for now. As I see these feelings moving around to see what else is happening. Just going to show you guys the PvZ for a moment, because it looks as though Euphemal is making the push that will probably end the game against Denver in Game 2 to tie up the series. Pushing down through the right-hand side. Vikings have landed. Hellions are pushing forwards, not even morphing into Hellbats. He's just got a bunch of Ravagers to kill off here, and he is making pretty good progress through that. And he's just got so many tanks in the back line as well. Shelling away at the 4th base of Denver, and looking as though he really does have that one under control over in that TVZ to, again, look to tie things up to 1-1 in his final series of the day. So again, Euphemal looking to tie things up in the next few moments, as we will now see these adepts getting into the action once again. A few more have just joined up, so this is the 6th adepts with a couple of oracles looking to get some damage dealt in the next few moments here. As adepts continue to come forwards, finding themselves a creep tumor right away. Obviously, if they can get some damage on the queens, it allows the oracles to maybe get a little bit more done as well. Going to be zoning these queens out from the zerglings. If the lings run in right now, they're in trouble because they're not near themselves, near any kind of anti-air that can protect from the oracles. And that's going to be a little bit of an issue, as we are going to be seeing the lings continue to come on through. We're going to be seeing the first queen going down. The adepts continue to shade away, and they do shade out through the center of the map. One oracle falls, but I feel good damage dealt, and at the very least keeps the Zerg player making units for a little bit longer, which more often than not really is the best way to kind of keep a Zerg player behind, keeping them making units rather than allowing them to drone up. Good force fields here, going to block in these Zerglings on the right hand side. Ling's trying to go up the ramp in towards the natural as well, is not going to be successful, and that is going to be that for now. Euphemal just took game number 2 against Denver, so again that is going to be tied up 1-1 over in that series in that TVZ. Double immortal production from Drogo. He really begins to buffer up this army, make it that little bit more powerful here. Make it that army which is genuinely so scary going further into the game. A lot of sentries as well, so maybe looking to attack very early in this one, although he just started up his +1 attack. The sentries are generally something more of an earlier game unit and something which will generally help you throughout the mid game with pushes and so on. So we'll see how aggressive Drogo wants to be. There's a War Prism, so there's definitely a possibility here where he gets across the map and he looks to at least take a couple of fights. Let's see what's going to be happening. Getting feelings gathered in the center of the map. A Ling going all the way over towards this watchtower as well. A couple of oracles again are set up. +1 melee, +1 missiles coming through from Namshar. Neobatized Carapace also about to finish up here. And that Baneling centrifugal hooks is coming up also. So I mean, again, Namshar's getting everything he needs for this game number 2. Going in towards the mid game here, he's not going to be caught off guard without you know, the bits and pieces which he needs to put together to find himself a win. Drogo coming all the way down towards the lower left hand side now, and just going to be looking to see what he can maybe get up to here. A few more Stalkers continue to come along as well. These Zerglings going to morph in a few Banelings, and we're going to be seeing these units going to start working their way through this set of rocks. I'm just going to be seeing this attack coming forwards here. So here we go. Drogo looking for this fight forwards. We are going to see this hatchery already in a little bit of trouble. A few more Stalkers warping in the sentry as well, and well, it's a very powerful push in from Drogo. He's looking to tie up the series himself here right now with this attack. Like we were mentioning, because of the amount of sentries, it really is very indicative of a more of a mid-game focused attack. It's interesting, he has no Twilight Council yet, so obviously no Templar Archives, and that kind of makes the sentries a bit more useful, because if there was Archons in this push, they'd be breaking down these force fields. It does mean, though, he's got no Glaives, no Blink, or anything, you know, on those kind of gateway units, which obviously may be a bit of an issue as well, as Drogo's still trying to push his way forward through this at the moment, not quite finding himself the complete damage which he wants. He's going to recall away, perhaps just happy with what he's done so far. Namshar isn't able to leap on that army, and Drogo gets back home. Again, maybe content with what he's done. He denied the 4th base, which is a big deal. Keeping this on 3 bases apiece definitely slows the Zerg player down, definitely limits him in terms of economy and production, as this Oracle gathers up just outside the 3rd to see what it can do next as well. More of these units, Lings, Hydras, and Banes, going to be working their way through this set of rocks, so continue to work his way through this, and as those rocks go down, we are going to be seeing those units again, just moving around a little bit to see what they can get up to. Coming off over to the left-hand side, this set of rocks is also going to be in a little bit of trouble here, so rocks being broken down on both sides of the map, a few more Banes morphing up in the center. And we are going to be seeing the Lings and Hydras coming forwards. A Stalker gets picked off, and an Adept over to the right side in a little bit of trouble. Prism into the main. Drogo looking to be aggressive while Namshar's being aggressive. Always great because it forces Namshar maybe even to think about retreating depending on how many Zealots warp in. 8 gates, I mean, if this goes up to 12 Zealots, Namshar might have to just pull back a serious part of his army here. His reinforcements are only just starting in production, so it's going to be a while. Of course, those Zealots don't have charge. They're not as scary as usual. But there you go. Namshar has to pull away. And that's Drogo buying himself a lot of time where he didn't have to deal with an attack which Namshar was looking for. And for Drogo, that's amazing, because over time here, in a Lingbane Hydra-based army, time is the Protoss player's friend. You know, the Lingbane Hydra is the army that wants to attack, deal damage again and again as the Zealot. Oh my god, one swipe away from death on that lair. You know, the Zerg player is the one who wants to get damage done. He's the one who wants to be trading, who wants to be lowering the amount of Immortals and Archons, forcing that count to reset. Whereas the Protoss player is like, cool, if you're not attacking, I can build Storm. If you're not attacking, I can go up into +2. I can get more Immortals, more Archons. My army gets better over time. That's what Drogo is thinking right now. So he'll be extremely happy with this so far. And again, just a few more Zealots here and there, just continue to be aggressive as he pushes forwards, and just stops the creep from becoming too much of an issue out in the middle of the map. War Prism going to try and get in towards the main, but Hydra's coming into location. But again, even just the threat of this War Prism is amazing so far, because now it's just, you know, what? I mean, that's 10 plus supply, just sat in the main base trying to defend. That's 10 supply for a 2 supply War Prism, which doesn't have to warp in, right? I mean, it can just sit here and be a threat. And if it's a threat, Namshar has to be ready to deal with it. And again, just having a War Prism sat there not being used is not as big of a deal as having a bunch of Hydras just sat here not being used. And again, that's 6 Hydras, a couple of Lings. It's a lot he's going to be missing out on, and again, Namshar just has less in this army, therefore, to really fight with. Storm is done, Templar have energy, and we are going to be seeing Drogo continue to push on forwards. Still looking good against this Lingbane Hydra army. Finally, the Hive starts up on, again, that lair, which was so low in health. Could even go down if the Prism gets back in, and that's why Namshar does have to commit so much here, because obviously losing the Hive really slows him down in terms of finally getting away from the pure Lingbane Hydra setup, which is in the game at the moment. A lot of force fields here. Namshar is going to get force fielded there. It looks a bit preemptive, but of course it just means that Drogo doesn't have to worry about a flank as he comes in to deny this base. And here we go. A few force fields are going to be dropping. There's the first storm. A lot of units going to try and come in from the back side. Immortals there to try and tank. The storms are going to go in towards the back now. Instead, the High Templar go down to some Banelings though. Is Namshar's flank good enough? There's a lot of Immortals left over. Some extra Banes running in. Namshar is going to crush this army in the end, and that is going to be a complete shutdown here. Wow, Drogo, the idea was there, getting the force fields in the back, stopping that army from flanking, but he just wasn't quite able to execute, and Drogo is down again in the series, remember. If he loses this one, Namshar may very well be able to still have a chance of moving through this group. A Stasis Ward gets set off right there, as you are going to be seeing the shield battery healing up a Stalker to the side. Zealots, Immortals, High Templar all gathering themselves up together to see what else is going on. Hydras continue to come up this ramp and continue to look to fight against this. Here's High Templar. Oh, just going to have to keep on running away, but I don't think Drogo has enough, and I think Namshar is going to find himself a win in this series. 2-0. Definitely a strong comeback, as that's not a good lag spike. And that is a lag spike. Drogo is going to be lagging out in the last moments of this game. Drogo, no! I'm not sure if that's a DC or a leave. I mean, obviously the game looks very over. That might very well be GG.